Okay, so think about it for a second, right? Like, just how much stuff we use every single day depends on digital communication, like everywhere you look. I mean, our cars are just packed with electronics these days. Factories are humming with all these like crazy automated systems, and all of this stuff depends on these really intricate, interconnected networks. So it raises a pretty big question, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, how do we make sure that all the sensitive electronics in these systems are safe and that data can flow between them reliably?
Right, exactly. And that's exactly what we're digging into today.
Yeah.
So we got this report, huh?
Yeah, we've got this fascinating report that sheds some light on the digital isolator market.
The digital isolator market, is that what it's called? Okay, so these digital isolators are kind of like crucial bridges, right?
Yeah, you can think of them that way. They let data move between different circuits that operate at different voltage levels. It's all about safety and making sure communication is robust.
So this market, it's already pretty big, right?
Oh, yeah, it is. Back in 2024, it was already at 2,154.6 million US dollars.
Wow, that's a big number already, and it's going to get even bigger too, right?
Much bigger. The forecast shows it'll almost double by 2032, reaching 400 and 230.6 million US dollars.
Okay, so for everyone listening, that's a compound annual growth rate of 8.8%. There's a fancy way of saying it's growing by almost 9% every year on average for almost a decade.
Yeah, that's huge. And when you start thinking about all the different industries that rely on this technology, it makes sense.
Yeah, like what are we talking about here?
Well, we're talking about everything from the increasingly sophisticated electronics in our vehicles,
Right.
the complex machinery that makes industrial automation possible, the backbone of our telecommunications infrastructure, life-saving medical devices,
Wow.
and even all the gadgets we use every day, like consumer electronics. It's everywhere.
It's like this kind of like invisible but essential layer
Exactly.
in so much of our technology. So
Right.
today we're going on a mission to really understand this market. We want to know who the big players are, what makes them successful, and what the future holds for this crucial technology.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so let's start by understanding what's driving this incredible growth. What's making this market expand so rapidly?
Sure, there are several key factors at play. First off, we're seeing a relentless increase in automation, and industrial control systems are becoming more sophisticated all the time. This requires safe and reliable data transfer.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, the more we automate things in industry, the more sensitive equipment we're using, and that equipment needs to be protected from electrical problems, right?
Absolutely. And then you've got the electric vehicle revolution, which is introducing all sorts of new power electronics and a need for more robust electrical isolation.
Oh yeah, with EVs, you have those high voltages and sensitive control systems all packed together, so isolation becomes even more critical.
Exactly. It's not just about the amount of technology, it's about making sure it operates safely and efficiently. We're seeing demand for both of those things increase all the time, and stricter safety regulations are being put in place. All of this is pushing the need for better and more reliable digital isolators.
So it sounds like companies in this space, they can't afford to just sit back and relax. They've got to be innovating constantly to keep up with these demands.
That's right. The report highlights a strong emphasis on developing high-performance and energy-efficient digital isolators. Companies are pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
So geographically, where's all this action happening?
A big chunk of the growth is coming from the Asia-Pacific region, particularly China and India.
Okay, so we've got strong growth drivers, a lot of activity in Asia Pacific. Now let's talk about the companies, the players shaping this market. Who are the dominant forces?
The report lists the top 10 companies worldwide in the digital isolator space.
Okay, give us the rundown.
In no particular order, we have Infineon Technologies, AG, STMicroelectronics, NXP Semiconductors, Analog Devices, ROHM Semiconductor Broadcom Murata, Manufacturing Skyworks Solutions, Vickers Corporation, and Advantech Co., Ltd.
Wow, so many big names, some of the biggest in the semiconductor industry, but the report focuses on the top 5 manufacturers, right? Who are those?
Those would be Infineon Technologies, AG, STMicroelectronics, NXP Semiconductors, Analog Devices, and ROHM Semiconductor.
All right, let's dive into this top 5, starting with Infineon. What can you tell us about them?
So Infineon Technologies AG, they're headquartered in Nübiberg, Germany, and they're a real leader in the market, particularly for things like vehicle-mounted computers. In 2023, they had total sales of, get this, 16.53 billion US dollars, with 1.2 billion of that coming specifically from the automotive sector.
Wow, that's a lot of vehicle-mounted computers, so what makes them stand out?
Well, they've got this product line called the AURX microcontrollers, which are known for their processing power, especially in automotive applications. They're also investing heavily in R&D in areas like AI-based systems and energy-efficient solutions. Plus, in 2023, they landed some major contracts with global car manufacturers.
So they're not just present in the automotive sector, they're a major force.
Exactly.
They're really shaping it, and their focus on AI and energy efficiency tells me they're thinking about the future of this tech.
For sure.
Okay, so what about STMicroelectronics?
Okay, STMicroelectronics. They're based in Geneva, Switzerland, and they're another global leader in semiconductors with a strong focus on automotive applications. Their total sales in 2023 were 17.29 billion US dollars, with roughly 4 billion of that coming from the automotive sector.
Okay, so even bigger than Infineon, and also heavily involved in the automotive world.
Yeah, and their products are known for their powerful processing capabilities and their strong connectivity even in tough conditions like you find in cars.
So they're built to last.
They have this microcontroller family called the SPC5, which is specifically designed for automotive applications, and their R&D is focused on energy-efficient, high-performance solutions for autonomous driving and electric vehicles.
Sounds like they're all in on the future of mobility.
They are. In 2023, they formed several strategic partnerships to really boost their vehicle-mounted computer offerings. So similar to Infineon, they're a huge global player with a big presence in automotive and a clear focus on what's coming next.
All right, next up is NXP Semiconductors.
NXP Semiconductors, they're headquartered in Eindhoven in the Netherlands, and they're another key player specializing in high-performance semiconductors for, guess what?
Automotive.
You got it, especially for vehicle-mounted computers. Their 2023 total sales were 13.28 billion US dollars, with 3.2 billion coming from their automotive segment.
Another one heavily focused on automotive. It's interesting how that keeps coming up. What is it about the automotive industry that makes it such a crucial area for digital isolators?
That's a great question. I think it's because cars present such a challenging environment for electronics to operate in.
Yeah.
You've got extreme temperatures, vibrations, electromagnetic interference, and safety is paramount.
Oh, yeah, of course, because so many car systems are safety critical. If they fail, it could be disastrous.
Exactly. Digital isolators in cars need to be incredibly robust and reliable to make sure everything from the engine to the driver assistance systems are working properly, and the high voltages in EVs, that adds a whole other layer of complexity.
Right, because those high voltages need to be kept separate from the sensitive electronics that control the car.
Exactly. So if a company's digital isolators can succeed in the automotive industry, it really says a lot about their quality and reliability.
Yeah, it's like a badge of honor.
It is.
Okay, so let's move on to analog devices.
Analog Devices is based in Norwood, USA, and they're another key player offering semiconductor solutions with applications in automotive and vehicle mount computing.
So continuing the trend here.
Yeah, their total sales in 2023 were 9.43 billion US dollars, with 1.2 billion from the automotive sector.
What are their strengths?
Their vehicle-mounted computers are known for their performance, low power consumption, and high reliability. They can handle all sorts of functions from infotainment and navigation to telematics, and they have this ADSP SC589 series that's specifically designed for automotive applications. Their R&D efforts include things like integrating AI and machine learning into their solutions.
Yeah, so again, we see that focus on automotive
Yeah,
and a forward-looking approach to incorporating new technologies.
that's right. And in 2023, they expanded their offerings for EVs and autonomous driving, and also formed some new strategic partnerships.
Okay, finally, let's talk about RIHM Semiconductor.
RHM Semiconductor, they're headquartered in Kyoto, Japan, and they're another big player in the automotive semiconductor market, specializing in vehicle-mounted computers in 2023. Their total sales were 3.31 billion US dollars, with about 500 million coming from automotive.
Okay, so maybe not quite as big as the others, but still a major player in this space.
Definitely. They're known for their reliable, energy-efficient solutions for things like advanced driver assistance systems, ADS, those features that help with things like lane keeping and adaptive cruise control.
Yeah, those are becoming increasingly common.
They are, and RHM is playing a role in making them possible. Their vehicle-mounted computers also offer robust processing and safety features, and their R&D is focused on developing power-efficient semiconductors and components specifically for cars. Their strategic alliances and global manufacturing footprint are also important factors in their success.
So across all five of these manufacturers, we see that strong presence in the automotive industry and this dedication to research and development to stay ahead of the curve. It's amazing to see how each company brings its own strengths and technological focus to the table. But how are these companies actually being compared and evaluated within the market? What makes one stand out from the others?
The report outlines some key criteria for evaluating companies in the digital isolator market. Financial stability is a big one. They look at things like revenue growth, and market share.
Okay, that makes sense. A strong financial foundation is crucial for any company, especially in a fast-paced tech market like this.
Right. It shows they have the resources to invest in growth and weather any storms that might come their way. But it's not just about the money. Their product portfolio is also really important.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it means the range and capabilities of the digital isolators. They offer things like the range of isolation voltages. They can handle the data rates. They support the types of signals they can work with.
Yeah. So it's about having a diverse toolkit that can meet the needs of various applications.
Exactly. A company with a broad and deep product portfolio can cater to all sorts of customers, from automotive and industrial to telecommunications and medical devices.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of market.
No, it's not. And then there's technological innovation companies that are constantly developing high-performance, energy-efficient isolators with better isolation, lower power consumption, and improved reliability. Those are the ones that are seen as leaders.
So innovation is key in this field.
It's essential. And then there's global presence. Companies with a wide reach can capitalize on opportunities in different regions and serve a wider customer base.
Okay, so it's not enough to just have the best tech. You also need to be able to deliver it and support it all over the world.
Right. And then, of course, there's their investment in R&D companies that put a lot of resources into research and development are better positioned to create the next generation of products and respond to emerging trends.
It shows they're committed to staying ahead of the curve.
Exactly. And last but not least, strategic collaborations and partnerships are also really important.
What role do partnerships play?
Well, forming alliances with other industry players, especially in key sectors like automotive industrial automation and telecommunications, can help companies expand their reach and enhance their offerings. They can integrate their isolators into larger system solutions and really make a difference.
So it's about more than just going it alone.
It is. It's about working together to create something bigger and better.
So to sum it up, a company's success in the digital isolator market is determined by a combination of financial strength, a diverse and capable product range, a commitment to technological advancement, a strong global presence, significant investment in innovation, and those strategic partnerships.
It's a complex landscape, but that gives us a good framework for understanding it.
It does. But what about competition? Are the established leaders facing any challenges? Are there any up-and-comers looking to shake things up?
Yes, actually, the report mentions the rise of several emerging players who are challenging the status quo.
Okay, who are we talking about here?
Some of the names you might recognize are Broadcom Inc., Texas Instruments, Inc. Maxim Integrated Renesas, Electronics Corporation, and Silicon Labs.
Oh yeah, those are some big names too. And they're known for their innovative approaches. So what are they bringing to the digital isolator market?
Well, Broadcom, for example, is making waves with their digital isolators that have high isolation voltage and faster data rates, which makes them perfect for demanding applications. Maxim Integrated is focusing on ultra-low power isolators, which are especially attractive for industries like industrial and medical, where energy efficiency is crucial.
Ultra low power, that's got to be a huge advantage, especially for battery-powered devices or systems that are really sensitive to energy consumption.
It is. And then you have Renesas, which already has a big presence in the automotive sector. They're leveraging that to integrate digital isolators directly into car control systems, particularly for EVs and autonomous vehicles.
Smart move given the growth in those areas.
Right.
What about Silicon Labs?
Silicon Labs, they've been investing heavily in advanced isolation technologies, specifically capacitive isolators, which are becoming more popular because they offer high-speed data transmission with low power consumption.
So it seems like these emerging players aren't just trying to copy the leaders. They're carving out their own paths with specific technological advantages, or by focusing on particular niches within the market.
Exactly. They're not just playing follow the leader. They're finding ways to differentiate themselves and offer something unique.
How are they managing to compete with these giants who've been in the game for so long?
Well, according to the report, they're using a combination of strategies. They're innovating, they're often offering more cost-effective solutions, and many of them have deep expertise in specific industries. They know what their customers need, and they're tailoring their products to meet those needs.
It's about being agile and responsive to the market.
That's right.
So for any new company that wants to enter this market, what advice would you give them? What should they focus on to succeed?
The report has some good insights for new entrants. First off, they should focus on developing innovative isolation technologies, particularly in areas like optical capacitive and magnetic digital isolators.
Why those specifically?
Well, those technologies have the potential to offer high-speed data transmission and improved energy efficiency. They're the future.
So don't just try to compete with existing tech, push the boundaries.
Exactly. And new players should also prioritize research and development that addresses the specific needs of different industries. For example, developing isolators with very high isolation voltage is crucial for safety in automotive electronics, medical devices, and industrial control systems.
So it's about understanding the unique challenges of each sector and tailoring your solutions accordingly.
Precisely. And then, of course, there's low power consumption and robust performance. Those are essential differentiators. If you can offer products that help reduce energy costs and improve reliability, you'll have a big advantage.
So efficiency and reliability, those are key.
They are. And another crucial strategy is to target high-growth sectors, industries like electric vehicles, renewable energy systems, and the Internet of Things, IoT, all have a huge and growing demand for digital isolators that meet their specific safety, reliability, and performance needs.
So it's about finding those booming markets and making sure your products are a perfect fit.
That's right. And building strong partnerships with companies in those sectors is really important. Tailoring your products to their exact requirements can help you gain a foothold in the market.
Okay, so partnerships are essential, but what about geographically? Are there any specific regions that new companies should target?
The report highlights the Asia-Pacific region as a major opportunity, especially given the rapid growth in automotive and industrial automation happening there.
So tapping into those high-growth regions is a good strategy.
It is forming joint ventures or collaborations with local players, and taking advantage of local manufacturing can really boost your chances of success in those markets.
So it's about understanding the global landscape
Hmm.
and being strategic about where you set up shop.
That's right. And one more thing that the report touches on is the increasing importance of eco-friendly practices, using sustainable materials, and environmentally conscious manufacturing processes can really appeal to customers who care about the planet.
So sustainability is becoming a bigger factor in purchasing decisions.
It is, and it's something that new companies should keep in mind.
So to recap, for any new company looking to make a splash in the digital isolator market, it's about focusing on technological innovation, conducting targeted R&D, building strategic partnerships, prioritizing the right geographic markets, and even considering sustainability as a differentiator.
It's a lot to think about, but it's an exciting market with a lot of potential.
It is. So as we wrap up, let's look at the bigger picture. What's the overall outlook for the digital isolator market?
The outlook is very positive. The report predicts significant growth, reaching 400 and 230.6 million US dollars by 2032. That's driven by the increasing demands from automotive, industrial, and consumer electronics.
So that robust growth we talked about at the beginning is still on track.
It is the top players with their established strength, their diverse product portfolios, and their commitment to R&D. They're in a good position to maintain their leadership. But the competition is definitely heating up.
How so?
We're seeing some consolidation at the top, but also fragmentation as new players find their niches and start to make their mark.
So it's going to be an interesting market to watch in the coming year.
It will be.
So ultimately, who's going to come out on top?
The companies that prioritize innovation, strategic partnerships, and cost efficiency, they're the ones most likely to thrive. Emerging players who can align their products with the needs of key customers and tap into those high-growth industries. They have a real chance to make a big impact.
So it's about being smart, adaptable, and forward-thinking. So to sum it all up for our listeners today, the digital isolator market is booming. It's driven by automation electric vehicles and the need for safe and reliable data communication. We've looked at the major players like Infineon, STMicroelectronics, NXP Analog Devices, and ROHM Semiconductor, and we've explored the strategies that new companies could use to succeed in this exciting and evolving market.
It's been a great deep dive into this technology.
It has, and it makes you think about all the unseen but essential components that make our modern world possible. Those digital isolators, they might not be glamorous, but they're playing a vital role.
They are, and that brings us to a thought-provoking question for your listeners. With all the increasing complexity and safety demands of electronics, what completely unexpected applications or groundbreaking technological leaps could revolutionize the digital isolator market, even beyond what we've discussed today? Think about it. These tiny components are already everywhere, in our cars, our homes, our industries. What's the next big thing that could transform this field?
What could the future hold for digital isolators? It's an exciting question to ponder.
It is, and it's a question that will shape the technology of tomorrow.